just, coming from him directly. So I am a God of justice. I will deliver. My children, you are my jurors. Those who see injustice and don't speak will also be judged by me. Those who are going against my word, and also the ones who know my word and do not follow it. Those who are taking advantage of my children, those who aren't feeding, clothing, helping them. Those who thought they had it all will soon see who the rightful owners are. My church will have what's rightfully theirs and will prosper. My children, your prayers are being heard. I have and I am granting them. Some of you cannot see, so you do not know, and some don't look like you expect it. Have faith and you will soon see. Have faith? But faith is blind. No, faith isn't blind. Those who don't believe in it are blind from it. Are blind to it, and will never see or hear it. See what? Hear what? My word, my glory. Be patient, be kind, be loving to thy neighbor, for I shall soon come. Those who listened, followed, and practiced my word will be abundant in my glory. Things will be reversed. I am cleaning out my house from top to bottom, inside and outside. This takes time because it includes gutters, trenches, chimneys, and all the corners, crooks, and crannies. Any place they might be trying to hide, but they don't know I see it all. For every place is mine. I built, created, and placed it all. There's nowhere they can hide. I tell you, my children, you will soon see only things that I can do. No man, machine, or power can do more than or is more powerful than me. My children, hang tight. So yeah, I really felt it was important for you to hear it all together like that. And so just, one other part that I do want to expand on, reading it back, it just, again, opens up stuff. And so he's saying that it takes time because there's so many layers. And as I've been saying, so many tentacles to all the different, places that they've infiltrated. So God's saying it takes time because he's going into every aspect of where they could possibly be trying to hide. And so he's cleaning house from top to bottom, inside and out. So it's important that we are patient. So that is the word. And then, so things to be aware of. And this is important. Oh, so before I forget, this word I received on the 28th. So it was a couple of days ago. And it's, okay, so this here are certain things that just drop in also randomly. So it's also from Creator, but it's not like it's, from him, but it's not like the word that I just read. But things that we should know are like, we are being tested in our faith and loyalty. So when things get really, really tough, that's when it's important for us to stay focused on his word. And then also what I heard is that we are giving ourselves due punishment by our doing. Everything we do to others, we will experience it on repeat. We torment ourselves with the pain, sadness, and suffering we cause others. And I was like, well, why am I hearing this? Like, is important for me to talk about this? And the reason why is because as things become tougher, this is the clarity that I got around it. This is the answer I received. As things become a little bit tougher, that's when our true humanity, our compassion, our love, all the teachings that God, has taught us is going to come into play. And so how we treat others, our, time of judgment and our punishment is going to be reviewing how we lived, and how we treated everyone in difficult times. So it's very important to remember that, especially in the difficult times, it is important to be kind, loving, compassionate, and helpful to one another. Very important. And you know, God wants us not surviving, but thriving. And God, you know, he's a God of abundance, and he's not going to leave his children with nothing. But again, it's important that we remember that, you know, we do need to survive, and then the thriving is going to come. And we do that by becoming helpful to each other and, you know, coming together in community. And, you know, God says we need to pray for each other, not pray on each other. This is very important. You know, we pray God's word on each other, right? We don't pray on each other. So we don't take from each other. We don't steal from each other. We're not going to be, you know, like the ones that are being cleared out right now, because that's what they've been doing all these years. They've been praying, preying, on all of us. And God's saying, no. You know, he says, be in gratitude, not in greeditude. So he doesn't want us being greedy. He wants us, you know, and it's kind of like humorous there, because I mean, greeditude is not really a word, but that's what I heard. So he's saying, don't be greedy, be in gratitude. So things that we can do during these times, he's saying, save your children's clothes and help someone else. So like if you have hand-me-downs, help another family that has children that are smaller than yours, you know, whatever they're outgrowing, help somebody else. And or also another thing that you can do to help yourself and help others, and this is really good, this is what we've been doing, is if, you know, you outgrow something or you're cleaning your space, sell it for very, you know, a very affordable price, so that it's helping both of you. You know, you make some money off of it, not very much, but you're going to make something, and then somebody else will be able to afford it. So this is what I'm saying. It's going to be a time of really helping each other, and through creative ways, but also the ways of our ancestors. And I've said this many a times, you can barter for things that you might have or they might have, and you guys both, you know, can swap that way. And then make sure that you guys are also buying extra baby food, you know, baby stuff, that if you have babies, you know, diapers, baby, you know, jar food, that kind of stuff. Have extra water and filters. So those filters for the water, if you still can find them, it's, you know, going to be important for you guys to get them. I can give you a link, or I also can have access to certain filters, and I can sell you some, but I have to take pre-orders because they're not mine. Like, I don't sell them, but I know where to get them. And so I can either send you the link, or I can take I probably want to give you the link. Yeah, I don't think I want to start taking the orders. Actually, I thought about that, but I can give you a link because I think they're not easy to find right now anymore. And then also, let's see. And so the reason why the water filter is because some of the things to be aware of that they're not going to be saying, obviously, on mainstream, is that they are allegedly contaminating certain waters, and especially the ones around farmers, like, you know, the farmers that are growing food, or you know, that kind of stuff, like the rivers or the waters around there, they're starting to get contaminated, or they've been doing this. So the filters are very important, which also brings me to, it's important for you guys to wash your foods, fruits, vegetables, that sort of stuff. in a little bit of vinegar and baking soda. So that's usually a great way to wash off anything that might be on them. And then that's pretty much it. The only other thing that I want to mention, excuse me, if you have not been paying attention, there was also very tragically, Acapulco has been hit, and I think it was either a hurricane. I believe it was a hurricane, but you might want to research that. But again, there's so many things being done and happening throughout the world that it's really important that we are paying attention to what is going on everywhere. And sadly, from what I have come across, it is a devastating situation there. So they are really, really going in on all kinds of different locations. So I'm asking, just pray for them. And again, I like to share information that maybe you guys have not heard or come across, and because they're not going to say. And then also with the borders, what's going on, I'm going to just say this, and then I'll close with picking, a card. Allegedly, they are allowing a lot of people in, as you guys probably already heard by now, because there are potential plants throughout different locations. Look into New York City. They have so many there, and they're just placing them everywhere throughout. And this is my personal belief, and this is just, could be a conspiracy theory. You can be, considered that way. That when it's, time for them to be fully dismantled, meaning whoever is supposed to be in charge right now. And I know that you guys are smart enough to figure out what I'm saying, because by now you guys know I can't say certain things. But as I said many a times, they're trying to do and cause as much damage as possible before they're completely gone. And so part of it is by allowing so many people in, my belief is, and again, this is just my belief, that it's to cause more, I guess, the more people there is and the less resources, it'll potentially cause more panic, more chaos, more stealing, more, people trying to fight for the little stuff that there are in the grocery stores. I think that's one thing that they might be trying to create, because intuitively what I'm feeling is that they're not going to allow them to go back. And I feel some of them, again, this is all intuitive, that I'm just getting intuitively. I feel they are trying to go back, some of them, a lot of them, but they are not being let back into their place, like to their, wherever they came from. And then you have the other portion that are being sent here on purpose and are waiting for a green light so that they can cause chaos. And so I ask that you pray into these situations so that things and the energy begin to open up, so that people who are trying to potentially go back home, they can find their way back home. And if there's people here that have been sent with bad intentions, that their hearts soften up and that they have a change of heart, and that, everything just dismantles, diminishes. Pray into that. And I'm a very big believer that we can shift things with our prayer, because where there's more than one prayer, there's, that energy becomes stronger. That prayer is a lot stronger. And as I said in the last video, we can potentially use the element of air and use it to cause more damage with fire, right? If you put air, wind, oxygen into a fire, it's going to get bigger. But if you put prayers into the wind, it can carry those prayers. So it's all about our intention, what we're doing, what we want to do, right? So I'm asking you guys to set intention into prayer and to overturn that. Because remember, we must use the same things that they do, but reverse it and now turn it into something positive, something good. And so, I also know that the element of water is a very, very sacred thing to just utilize in prayer. The water it holds energy, it holds memory through vibration, through speaking into it. And so we can speak into the waters and then offer them to Mother Earth, because she needs a lot of healing too. But just the same as we can pray into the water and sing into the water, whatever vibration we want to put into the water, and then take it and drink it. And we can start healing ourselves that way too, and allowing the energy and vibration in our bodies to start shifting in that way. And this is something that I was shown last night in a vision. So I want to make sure that I tell you guys, because we are mostly made out of water. So imagine when we can shift the water that we're drinking, like with high vibration frequency, and then we take it, that's also going to go into our body, into our water, and harmonize with that specific prayer vibration that we just prayed into it. So it'll enhance our water, and it'll enhance our energy and body and all that stuff. So really start paying attention to the things that we can do and participate in the ways, that we can really, really bring in Mother Earth and God, because God created all of this. And all that medicine is available to us. We just have to remember how to utilize it to shift things into the way that we're meant to be, which is harmonious and joyous and living off the land. And we just, little by little, I think that we're going to remember and call that back in. So I am going to pull a card, and then I will, this will pretty much close our time together. Okay, so I feel like this one's calling me. Fire, spirit, energy. So this is I just spoke about the fire. I love these cards because they do bring the elements. And I was just saying, we can use the elements, the fire spirit. It is known to destroy things, but it's also very sacred in bringing in warmth, right? All goes back to intention. How are we going to use the energy, our energy? We have that fire energy too, so we can ignite something beautiful. We can ignite our fire to bring light into this darkness. And not that dark is bad, because I think in the dark is where we can reflect. And I've said this before, we go internal into the darkness, and that's where we do a lot of our shadow work. That's where we are able to do a lot of beautiful reflection and healing, when we go inwards into what is called dark. But when we bring the element of fire, we're able to also see things that we probably wouldn't be able to see in the dark, and or in the indigenous way, fire is very sacred. We put a lot of things that we release into the fire. So ask fire to take things that are not serving. They use the fire in a controlled way when they're clearing land, right? So again, utilize it to help you clear the things in your life that are not serving, so that we can make space for what's to come. God has a lot of beautiful things waiting for us, an abundant of things that he wants, because remember, he wants us not surviving, but he wants us to thrive. So I will leave you guys with that, and hang in there. Thank you guys for those of you who keep in contact with me. I receive your messages. I love exchanging conversations with you guys. And, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. And thank you to those who have donated. If you guys have any prayer requests or any messages that you want me to read here with, share with everybody, or you can share them on the comments. As long as they're uplifting and positive and brings support to each other, I welcome them and I thank you guys.